After government announcement, parents of released Kuriga school children eager to be reunited. Residents killed, houses burnt as fresh crisis breaks out in Plateau. A mother narrates ordeal of losing 4 in the Nigerian military. And on the international scene, Israel besieges 2 more Gaza hospitals. Hello there and many thanks for joining us on the News Hour tonight. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Hours after the announcement of the release of the Kuriga school children by the Kaduna state government and the defense headquarters, parents are now eager to be reunited with their children. One of the parents among the Kuriga community leaders who was at the government house says he wants to see his daughter to confirm her release from captivity. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more of the story.
Journalists waited for hours at the government house expecting more update from the state government on the release of the Kuriga school children. The parents also waited for hours hoping to see their children. However, as of the time we left the government house, minutes after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the children had not been brought to the government house. Jibrin Gwarebi Kuriga is one of the parents of Kuriga school children.
I've not seen anything about her. I'm just praying maybe by tomorrow I will see her. They said all the children are back. That's what they said. All of them are back. But seeing is believing.
According to him, life has not been easy thinking about the living conditions of his daughter at the hands of the bandits.
Let me tell you, sometimes 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night, I will wake up. Believe me, I will just be crying because thinking, how is she? How is she? What has she eaten? You see, I think of that because I know if say she's at home, normally before she goes to school in the morning, she eats, and then she comes back again for breakfast, and then when they close 2 o'clock, she before she goes for Islamia, she takes something. I'm in fact always playing with her in the house, but with her absence now, in fact, I've been feeling very bad.
Besides journalists, security agencies, the chairman of Chikun local government, traditional and community leaders, and UNICEF officials all waited for hours at the government house. Just weeks ago, bandits stormed 2 schools in Kuriga village of Chikun local government area, kidnapping over 280 school children, forcing the community into a state of grief and sorrow. The military has confirmed the release of the school children in Zamfara State. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Meanwhile, Governor Ubasani of Kaduna State has received 200 police special forces to be deployed to protect residents of vulnerable communities in Chikun, Kajuru, Birnin Gwari, and other frontline locations that have been under siege by bandits and terrorists in recent times. Presenting the men at the government house in Kaduna, the representative of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, assured that the force is committed to ensuring that people of Kaduna State and Nigeria as a whole live their lives without any threat.
For deployment as the command and Your Excellency deems fit. We also have 2 new APCs deployed to Kaduna by the Inspector General of Police.
And President Bola Tinubu has praised the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and other security agencies for the safe release of the Kuriga school children in Kaduna State. The incident, where about 287 children were kidnapped on March 6, sparked outrage and condemnation from various quarters, including UNICEF. 2 weeks after the abduction, the children were rescued in Zamfara State through joint efforts of the military and local authorities. Shortly after the rescue, President Tinubu commended the efforts of security agencies, emphasizing the importance of collaboration between the federal government and states, especially regarding security matters. The president also welcomed the release of pupils from a Tangaya school in Sokoto State and assured Nigerians that his administration is implementing detailed strategies to ensure schools remain safe sanctuaries of learning. And the communal clash between the Montol and Taro ethnic groups in Ponglong community of Mikang local government area of Plateau State resulted in at least 9 deaths, with houses and barns being burnt and many residents displaced, particularly women. The conflict, sparked by a farmland dispute, escalated when irate youth and criminals got involved. Despite security deployment, criminals seized the opportunity to rustle cattle amidst the chaos, exacerbating the situation. And bandits unleashed a deadly attack on worshippers observing Ramadan prayers in Meirua village, Faskari local government area of Kaduna State on Saturday night, resulting in the tragic death of at least 2 individuals and leaving another wounded. Among the deceased was a prominent figure known as Alhaji Lado, suspected to be the prime target of the assailants. The victim, described as a businessman, politician and large-scale farmer, was killed when he resisted the orders of the attackers. According to an eyewitness, the attackers also kidnapped Alhaji Lado's wife and 2 daughters during the assault. Another victim of the attack, identified as a health worker named Sani, also lost his life, unfortunately. Katsina has been heavily affected by banditry despite numerous efforts to curb the criminal activities proving ineffective. And the families of late Lieutenant Colonel A.H. Ali, the commanding officer, 181 Amphibious Battalion, who was murdered alongside 2 majors, 1 captain and 12 soldiers in Ukoma, Uheli South local government area of Delta State on Thursday, have narrated their ordeals following the gruesome killings. The deceased officers and soldiers were mowed down by some hoodlums who were of the 181 Amphibious Battalion in Bomadi local government area of Delta State. Salim Umar Ibrahim, who was at the residence of the families, now reports.
Sadness is all that can only be seen on the faces of mourners at the residence of late Lieutenant Colonel A.H. Ali, the commanding officer, 181 Amphibious Battalion, who was murdered alongside the 2 majors, 1 captain and 12 soldiers in Ukoma, Ugeli South, local government area of Delta State. Indeed, this is one of the hardest moments to speak amid sorrow and intense mourning, the demise of a breadwinner and loved one. Sitting just in the living room of her house, Hassana Hassan, the mother of the deceased, was completely lost. She didn't know what to do as she kept reminiscing moments upon moments. This is yet another tragic event in her life that marks almost an end to a series of similar events she had faced in the past. This woman can be described as one strong woman among many others within her age group. She has seen and heard it all in terms of bad news, mostly associated with death. She tried to find strength to answer greetings and casually speak a word or 2, pausing at intervals. Speaking about the recent tragic death of her eldest child, she said, "Words cannot be enough to describe what she feels, but she only knew what is transpiring in her brain, mind and soul."
What can I do? I don't know what to do with my life. He came here and sat down. We greeted each other and he said, "Hassana, they couldn't allow me to come and see you until now. It's bitter. He is my son. I gave birth to him and he has not offended me for once."
The mother went back memory lane to recall how his brother, also a Nigerian army military man, was brutally killed by suspected bandits in an ambush in Kaduna State some years ago in the course of work.
That one was in Katsina. They were together in a group and someone shot him.
Similarly, she went ahead to narrate how her daughter, also married to a military man, who died alongside her husband and his brother in a car accident, just at a time like this, during the fasting period some years ago.
He is also a soldier. They came at me like this and greeted us all, and they went back. On their way back, their car hit a pole. The husband and his brother died. In her attempt to rescue the husband, she also got caught up by fire, and that's how she also died.
Hassan Hassan, beside losing all these military officers, 2 sons, an in-law alongside her own daughter, said the 4th military man who was the first to leave Mother Earth, was her husband, whose peaceful death occurred at home after retirement from active service. Also speaking, his wife, Hawa, who hardly takes in courage to utter a word, said, with recent experience, she could hardly agree with any of her child to join the military in the future.
I would not. The father has already sacrificed his own life for Nigeria.
She, however, prayed that God continue to be with him wherever he is.
But the way my husband was killed was really shattered. I spoke to him the very day. He called me and told me he was going for peace. Just for me to try his number, and I never got him. Nobody could call me to tell me what happened till on Saturday before I heard the news.
However, Nigerians are demanding probe into the gruesome killing of the fallen heroes, as well compensation for their families. Salim Umar Ibrahim, reporting for Trust TV.
The souls of the slain officers find rest and their families find comfort. Still in the news, the Kadarko area of Nasarawa State witnessed a tragic incident where at least 6 individuals were reportedly killed by suspected herders. The attacks occurred over 2 days with 2 persons killed on Friday at Te Abiaze community and 3 others shot on Sunday morning. Dennis Uta, the chairman of United Farmers Association of Kadarko, confirmed the incident, highlighting the brutality of the attacks and the resulting injuries to survivors. Additionally, he mentioned a reprisal killing of a Fulani man during the attacks. Despite attempts to reach out to the Nasarawa State Police Command for comment, there was no response at the time of reporting. And in a tragic turn of events, a financial palliative distribution exercise went south in Bauchi State as a stampede that followed the exercise claimed at least 4 lives. The State Police Command, while confirming the incident, said the surging crowds defied all of control measures, leading to the unfortunate death of the 4 people. Trust TV's Adamu Imam completes the report.
What began as a joyous opportunity for those women and children metamorphosed into an uncontrollable chaos when a surge of attendees overwhelmed safety all barriers. Eyewitnesses reported scenes of people struggling to escape the crush of the crowd, with many sustaining various degrees of injuries. Though emergency services rushed to the scene before their arrival, the damage was already done. We evacuated some dead bodies from the scene of the incident. We later learned that some children got missing, while some babies were found without their mothers. From what we saw, 10 old women died because we counted 10 bodies on the spot, while the ones we evacuated were 5. The women I carried from the scene of the incident told me that 6 women died there as the result of stampede while trying to collect cash. She also said she saw 4 missing babies, while 1 pregnant woman delivered a baby boy during the incident. After the men had collected their share, it was the turn of the women. That was when the chaos started, and then police began firing tear gas to disperse them. At that point, people were rushing to get out of the place. It wasn't easy because of the crowd. I saw 6 dead bodies and a woman with a fractured leg. Most of the time, we women don't do the right thing. Everything would have gone smoothly if not for the women. I hope that we learn from this and be more organized next time. As I'm talking to you now, my neighbor has passed away here due to the stampede. They said we should come and collect some money as palliative, and we have been here since morning, but we couldn't get the money. It is usually announced every year that such a thing will happen, and we always look out for it. Reports indicate that the stampede was triggered by a sudden commotion near the main gate of the AYM Shafa head office along Bauchi Jos Road. According to the public relations officer Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital, Usman Abdullahi Koli, said the hospital has received quite a number of casualties, while the deceased have been handed over to their families, while the authorities are currently investigating the cause of the devastating incident. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Kaduna residents have voiced mixed sentiments regarding the implementation of the 10 billion naira Ramadan package in the state, urging Governor Rada to ensure close monitoring of the program. And concerns have been raised regarding the quality and quantity of meals being served at various levels despite the substantial amount of money allocated for this purpose. Abdullah Yamadi gives the situation report on the process in several local government areas of Katsina State for Trust TV.
While some residents express disappointment over the quality and quantity of the Ramadan package, others admit they are not even aware of the government's commitments in that regard. This disparity in awareness and satisfaction highlights the importance of effective communication and transparency in government initiatives, ensuring that all citizens are informed and involved in the processes that affect them.
Probably it will be in the near future, but not yet.
How can such minimal support be beneficial? The governor should focus on initiatives that genuinely improve people's lives, such as infrastructure projects. The Kaduna State government, in response to concerns regarding the 10 billion naira 2024 Ramadan feeding program for first-time residents, asserts that the initiative is achieving significant success throughout the state. Musa Adamu Funtua, the State Commissioner of Environment, explained in an exclusive interview with Trust TV News in Kaduna that, contrary to some misconceptions, the Ramadan package includes the provision of meals in all 361 political wards across the 34 local government areas of the state, among other benefits. Funtua further clarified that each political ward in Kaduna State receives a 500 kilogram bag of rice, which is then prepared and served as a meal to over 200 people, aiming to alleviate the challenges faced by fasting residents during Ramadan.
You have to understand that there is a category or mode of distribution, like Quranic school and Quranic school, clergy, all people, all category, women that are vulnerable, then what am I going to open it and other things. So it's a multi-dimension approach, purposely connecting and both connecting and non-connecting to solve this problem, because the situation is very bad.
The commissioner further explained that the aim is to stabilize market prices and mitigate the impact of the current economic challenges resulting from fuel subsidy removal and uncontrolled inflation. Trust TV News observed officials serving meals to people in Batagarawa, Mashi, Bindawa, Faskari, Ingawa, Kafur, and Danja local government areas of Kaduna State just minutes before breaking the fast. Some Kaduna residents noted that the Ramadan meal has notably improved their lives despite concerns over the significant amount of money expended. They called on the government to review and enhance the quality and quantity of the meals provided. Please extend our sincere gratitude to Governor Rada. Tell him this is a commendable initiative. I have collected my share.
And I believe this will greatly assist poor, vulnerable families and other less privileged individuals in fasting during this holy month with ease. They also called on wealthy individuals to complement the government's efforts in supporting the community during Ramadan. Abdullahi Izuma Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
I'm still talking about government efforts in supporting citizens in its state. In an effort to alleviate economic hardships and inflation, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Zulum has distributed food palliatives to over 52,500 households in 7 local governments of southern Borno. Additionally, he provided 100 million naira to support agricultural activities for 2,000 youth and children. Trust TV's Bitrus Kuruti has more.
The food distribution, which kicked off at the Biu Stadium, covered local councils of Biu, Shani, Chibok, Askira-Oba, Kwayar Kusa, Bayo, and Hawul. The distributed food palliatives included bags of rice and maize grains. In addition to distributing food palliatives, the governor also allocated 100 million naira to over 2,000 youths and women to support food production initiatives. The deputy governor of Borno State, Usman Kadafur, urged beneficiaries to utilize the grant judiciously for the intended purpose. Deputy Governor of Borno State, Usman Kadafur, announced that the governor commissioned a water project in Hawul, local government in southern Borno. The Azari water project features a combined 565,000 litre capacity reservoir, a 400,000 litre corrugated tank, and another 165,000 litre corrugated overhead tank standing at a height of 12 meters, all powered by a 22,000 kV solar power system. The Commissioner of Water Resources highlighted that the state government constructed 10 basement and hybrid boreholes, 17 hand pump boreholes, and rehabilitated 20 in Hawul local government.
The project also consists of a facility office, pump house, gate house, perimeter fencing, and also construction of over 3 kilometer distribution network to Azari town from the facility, and patient point of batteries of taps separate across the city, across the town, in various locations, sir.
During his visit to Biu, Governor Zulum also laid the foundation for the construction of an eye and dental hospital. He stated that the project is in fulfillment of his campaign promises and aims to ensure affordable healthcare service delivery to the people of Borno. Additionally, he approved funds to upgrade Biu General Hospital to a specialist hospital.
I want to direct the contractors to ensure that this project is completed within a period of 6 months.
This will make Borno State the only state above the Niger which has got eye hospital and dental hospital in every senatorial district.
The Zulum administration says it is committed to delivering on his manifesto for the overall growth and development of Borno State. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Still on Borno State, Governor Professor Babagana Zulum has outlined plans for Borno State to become an exporter of sesame and cash crops like maize and cassava in the near future. Speaking during a visit to the Koiri irrigation farm along the Maiduguri-Magumeri road, he emphasized his administration's commitment to achieving food and sufficiency and also promoting irrigation agriculture. The governor revealed plans to expand the farm to 300 hectares, with 100 hectares to be cultivated in each senatorial zone. The Koiri irrigation scheme aims to produce over 1,092 tons of maize and other crops annually, with the pilot project on 20 hectares, targeting 364 tons of maize and sesame in one crop cycle.
Want to cultivate a minimum of 100 hectares at a time. Let me have the cost so that I will ensure that funds are released on time. But you also have to take note of the availability of sprinkler irrigation systems in our place. You have to compare and contrast which of the methods shall we adopt. But I believe down the northern part of the state, drip irrigation is something that we shall work on.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, has decided to extend the registration period for the 2024 direct entry by 2 weeks to accommodate all intending candidates. Dr. Fabian Benjamin, the JAMB Public Communications Advisor, announced yesterday that the initial registration period, which began on February 28, 2024, and was scheduled to end on March 28, has been extended to April 11, 2024. This extension comes in response to challenges faced by candidates in navigating certain security screening measures aimed at addressing the prevalence of fake A-level certificates. Dr. Benjamin emphasized that the board remains resolute in preventing candidates with dubiously acquired certificates from benefiting from them and ensuring that institutions verify certificates before registration. Candidates whose certificates issuing institutions have not verified their certificates will be required to do so before being allowed to register. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, Borno residents expressed dissatisfaction over inability to afford essential food items as costs continue to skyrocket. This and also more news after the break. Join us again. Welcome back. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Now, a recap of our major stories. After government announcement, parents of released Kuriga school children eager to be reunited. Residents killed, houses burnt as fresh crisis breaks out in Plateau. And business owners in Jos, the capital of Plateau State, are lamenting the prohibition of trucks entering business areas in the state, citing the significant impact on their operations. They are facing challenges related to logistics, supply chain disruptions, and increased costs as the result of longer transportation routes or the need for alternative methods. Trust TV's Ado Musa completes the report.
Manager of Jos Metropolitan Development Board, Hadbankat, announced Executive Order Number 003 on March 10, 2024, which includes provisions preventing trucks from entering business areas between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. The purpose of the order is to streamline vehicular traffic through traffic management measures. The order came into effect on March 19. However, business owners in Jos and its environs have reported that the order has had a negative impact on their businesses.
The government supposed to have a big garage that will contain all these big trucks. When they come, they will be there until the time of to offload. They will come from there to our premises of where we are making the business. Because if they are in the street parking, if there is any problem, even the truck is not safe, our goods is not safe.
Like I can say, when they are in the bush, like in Nasarawa State, we used to bring our goods from Nasarawa State, and at times now, about 4 days ago now, our load about 5 to 20 loads are there in Nasarawa State. We don't get big trucks to carry it for us because they are complaining that when they come here, they stop them from entering the town, so they cannot carry it. They used to carry the one of Bauchi and of Gombe. So
the drivers that are bringing goods from different parts of the country are apprehensive about this law prohibiting entrance and exiting from the town. So that apprehensiveness or that apprehension It's a problem in itself because it is hard for us to get vehicles to bring our goods, to convey our goods to the market. So that's one of the major problems we are having.
The business owners acknowledge that while the restriction is a welcome idea, they find the planning and timing of entrance too strict. They are calling on the state government to adjust the order to better accommodate their operational needs.
So we are not against what the government wants to do, but we want to, they will do it the way that we, the business people, will be protected. That is our own issue. So they will do it in the favorable of everybody. So that is what we are pleading for.
There should be proper orientation. There should be proper orientation. The traders and the drivers should be involved in planning or how this thing is going to help the government on one side and also help the drivers on one side.
The business owners, however, are urging the state government to reconsider the new order and make adjustments by involving all stakeholders to arrive at a logical conclusion. They emphasize the importance of collaboration and dialogue to address concerns and find mutually beneficial solutions. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And as Ramadan fast continues to gain momentum, the economic hardship in the country is further biting harder on households who are unable to afford basic food items. In Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, prices of food items and fruits which are essential for meals during the fast have continued to soar to the dissatisfaction of both buyers and sellers. Hamisu Matazu has a situation report.
With the alarming cost of yam, Irish potato and fruits in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, residents are forced to consider other alternatives to break their fast in this Ramadan period. While sellers mostly complain of hard times due to a significant drop in their daily sales, buyers decry high prices that exceeded their purchasing power and worsened their economic situations. Trust TV went round Maiduguri to see how residents are having hard times buying the tubers and fruits to break their fasting. We met Madu, a potato buyer at Ennono Market, and he complained bitterly about the hike in price.
A measure of potatoes I bought 2,000 naira days back now costs 3,500, and the quantity won't be enough to feed me and my little ones. So I was forced to buy rice and cook to break the fast, but it wasn't as satisfying as Irish potatoes.
Malama Aisha, who patronizes the post office area to buy yam, complained that the hike in price had affected everything despite continued appeal on traders to reduce prices during Ramadan period.
I'm appealing to the government to intervene to see how it would make the traders reduce the price to cushion the effect of the economic hardship. We also pray for Allah's mercy.
Muhammad Sama'il Lamoa, who was at Monday Market to buy watermelon, said the price was too exorbitant for a poor man to buy.
Many don't have the purchasing power to buy watermelon. A moderate-sized melon now costs between 2,000 to 2,500. Just a week before Ramadan, that size of melon cost only 1,000 and at most 1,200.
Abba Sama'ila, a yam and potato seller at Ennono Market, explained why the prices of tubers are getting higher.
The wholesale price is becoming too high and it keeps increasing daily due to the high cost of transportation. Before now, we sold 6 pieces of this yam for only 6,000, but today is 18,000 naira. I would advise the government to open farmlands and invest more in places like Chibok and Guza, where tubers can be cultivated.
Usman Babayo, another yam and potato seller at Bulunkutu Market, has this to say.
Government should return payment of subsidies to ease the situation. Transporters avoid loading goods to Maiduguri due to distance and high cost of diesel, and for those who agree to come, they charge too much.
Hamis Kabir Matazu, Trust TV News from Maiduguri.
Kannywood actress Amal Umar has been arraigned before a Kano magistrate court over an alleged attempt to bribe a policeman. She was accused of attempting to bribe ASP Salisu Bujama out of the Nigerian police force Zone 1 headquarters in Kano State with the sum of 250,000 naira. This alleged bribe was aimed at halting a police investigation into financial misappropriation allegedly perpetrated by her boyfriend, Ramadan Inua. The complaint was filed by Yusuf Adamu through his lawyer to the Assistant Inspector General of Police, detailing how Inua misappropriated 40 million naira in his cell phone business. The police investigation revealed that 13 million naira was transferred to Amal Umar's bank account by Inua. She confessed that the money belonged to her boyfriend but claimed that only 8 million naira was transferred to her. Following her bail, she approached the High Court of Kano State to halt further police investigations against her, which was temporarily restrained by the court. Subsequently, she attempted to bribe the police investigator, ASP Salisu Bujama, but was arrested with evidence of the alleged bribery. She has been charged with violating Section 118 of the Penal Code, which prohibits the bribery of a police officer. And away from that, Christians, especially Catholics, the world over this Sunday observed Palm Sunday, a day that officially marks the Passion Week, signifying the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ to Jerusalem. In Benue State, Christian faithful say the day is significant in their lives as it showed Christ's humility and sacrifice to save mankind. Jimmy Adzande reports.
Passion Sunday, or Palm Sunday as it is popularly called, is unique in the lives of the Christian faithful. The day, unlike the other Sundays, begins with a procession, with members carrying palm fronds to signify the triumphant entry of Jesus into Jerusalem, the commencement of his trial, death, resurrection, and triumph over death.
It is a great day to all Catholic faith. And of course, once Jesus died on the cross, he enters into Jerusalem for the purpose of wiping off our sins. It shows that we are alive with Jesus. And after this day, we are going to enter into Easter week.
It's a period for us to have a reflection into our lives, because even though we have sinned, the Lord Jesus Christ has come to take away the sins. That is why he is about to die for our sins, to bring peace into the nation and the country, and win all men back to the Lord, his Father.
To the clergy, it is a special week for Christians, especially those of the Catholic denomination, as it is reminiscent of peace and love for one another.
That's why even in our gospel narrative today, when Peter drew out his sword, struck somebody's ear, he said, put it back in its sheath. That shows Jesus came to preach peace. We should dialogue to come, we should have a round table discussion towards peace. I should be sincere about peace. Peace is prized above every other thing. So Jesus came to give himself. He said that I came that they may have life and have it to the full. And we should be able to deny ourselves and some of those things that deprive us of peace, such as bribery, insincerity, and ethnicity. These are making us to become people who are divided.
The week-long activity will end on Easter Sunday, the day that marks the resurrection of Jesus Christ from death. It is a season for the administration of sacraments, as well as a solemn occasion for fasting and praying, for the forgiveness of sins, and expression of agape love for one another. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Also, Christians have been advised to acknowledge the sacrifice Jesus Christ made on the cross of Calvary by drawing closer to him in order to have eternal life. It comes on the heels of the commemoration of this year's Palm Sunday, which signifies Jesus Christ's triumphant entry into Jerusalem. Trust TV's Friday, Ebumuboy Peter completes the report.
A clergyman, Desmond Ezibeton, said Palm Sunday was significant to Christians as it marks the beginning of the journey of Christ towards salvation for mankind.
This is the beginning of the journey of Christ towards our salvation. This is the day he took the journey to Jerusalem, a place that was destined for him to pay the price for us. Okay, this is a time of sober that we need to draw closer to him, to know more from him, so that we can see or know the direction of where he's leading us to. It's not a time of looking to the wall, but it's a time looking towards the cross, because it's a journey to the cross. So I want to advise the Christians and all over the world that this should also give us the direction back to him, that is the Savior of the whole world.
Some faithful enjoin Christians to unite, preach love, and share with one another while drawing closer to God to enable reap the benefits of his death and resurrection.
During this Palm Sunday and the Easter celebration, my call to Christians that we should not celebrate this season with carnal knowledge, but we should always celebrate it having the mindset that Jesus paid a price for us by dying for us on the cross of Calvary. So we need to honor him, serve him, worship him in truth and in spirit. Because he has paid the price for us. His death has brought us salvation. Every Christian, you should not crucify Christ the second time. But that price that paid for us, we should honor him by serving him in truth and in spirit and walking in the ways of God, even in trying time.
A starting point that Christ laid for us to bring Christians together, so that we can float in this unity. You know, some people feel that you are in Redeem or Christ Embassy, that we are different. No. How to bring Christians together. That is the essence of this Palm Sunday, where you really gather Christians in one accord, and they were preparing a feast, telling them how the body of Christ is like. You understand? So that they can really float in that angle. Christianity to really know the impact that Christ did for us in the cross of Calvary. Christ has really done a lot for us. So it's for us to really come together to know him. But as many of the children of God that have been cut off from this great glory, my advice to them is for them to come together and really come close to Christ, accept him as the Lord and personal Savior.
Palm Sunday in Christian calendar marks the start of Jesus' journey to his death on the cross and his eventual resurrection on Easter Sunday. From Yenagoa, Friday, Ebimobowe Peter, Trust TV News, Yenagoa.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has rescued a 6-month-old baby sold for 600,000 naira. The child was recovered from an orphanage in Imo State during an operation last week following a tip-off by an informant. The mother, Emedion Gasukwo, a teenager from Etinan local government area, Akwa Ibom State, cited economic difficulties as the reason for selling her child. She explained that she and her boyfriend couldn't afford to care for the baby and decided to give the child to anyone willing to care for it until she could support herself and the baby. However, her friend and mastermind behind the sale, Stella Asukwo, arranged for the child to be sold in Abia State without Emedion's consent. Stella claimed she was moved by Emedion's complaint about lack of food and her partner's hostile nature. The baby was eventually taken to an orphanage in Imo State where NAPTIP rescued the child. NAPTIP confirmed the rescue operation, identifying poverty as a major cause of human trafficking. Investigations are still ongoing and NAPTIP is committed to combating trafficking and providing support to victims, calling on the state government and other stakeholders to assist in feeding, training and empowering victims of human trafficking. Meanwhile, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have launched massive raids across Lagos, Edo and Ondo State, leading to the seizure of over 44,948.1 kilograms of illicit drugs and arrest of 8 suspects. A statement by the Director, Media and Advocacy of the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, says while a total of 7,687.8 kilograms of cannabis was destroyed in a warehouse in Akure, Ondo State, no less than 14,310 kilograms of same psychoactive substance was raised on 5.7 hectares of farms in Edo State. Babafemi noted that 8 suspects were arrested in Edo, while 6,500 kilograms of cannabis was destroyed on 2.6 hectares of farms, while 5,000 kilograms of the same substance was raised in a warehouse in Okuje Forest of Owan West local government area. In Lagos, an operation led to the seizure of 10,534 kilograms of Ghanaian loud, a strain of cannabis in Ajah area of the state, where 11 vehicles were seized from the drug cartel. In another raid at Ago Palace Way area of the state, a suspect, Miracle Obi, was arrested with 1,006 ampoules of pentazocine injection, 50 tablets of tramadol, 225 milligrams, 89 bottles of codeine syrup, and 2,360 ampoules of diazepam injection. In Kano State, a syndicate dealing in cocaine and heroin was successfully dismantled with the arrest of 42-year-old Onyeka Oba at Sabongari area of Kano State, where 1.805 kilograms and 7 grams of the illicit substances were recovered from him. And suspected rice smugglers launched an attack on Nigeria Customs Service personnel at Yauri Outstation in Kebbi State. According to Mohammed Tajuddin Salisu, the Customs Public Relations Officer for Kebbi State Area Command, the officer in charge of the outstation sustained injuries during the attack, and one AK-47 rifle was stolen but later recovered. The assailants made off with 29 out of 41 bags of rice seized by customs. Trust TV. We'll be back shortly. You're still watching the news hour on Trust TV. And away from Nigeria, Israeli forces besieged 2 more Gaza hospitals on Sunday, pinning down medical teams under heavy fire, the Palestinian Red Crescent said, and Israel said it had captured 480 militants in continued clashes at Gaza's main Al-Shifa hospital. Israeli forces say hospitals in the Palestinian enclave, where war has been raging for over 5 months, have frequently been used as strongholds for Hamas militants harboring bases and weapons. Hamas and medical staff denied this. The Palestinian Red Crescent said one of its staff was killed when Israeli tanks suddenly pushed back into areas around Al-Amal and Nasser hospitals in the southern city of Khan Yunis amidst heavy bombardment and gunfire. Israeli armored forces sealed off Al-Amal hospital and carried out extensive bulldozing operations in its vicinity, the Red Crescent said in a statement. It said Israeli forces were now demanding the complete evacuation of staff, patients and displaced people from Al-Amal's premises and were firing smoke bombs into the area to force out its occupants. The health ministry in Hamas-run Gaza said dozens of patients and medical staffers had been detained by Israeli forces at Al-Shifa in Gaza City in the enclave's north that has been under Israeli control for a week. Al-Shifa is one of the few healthcare facilities even partially operating in North Gaza, and others had also been housing some of the nearly 2 million civilians. And in sports, the federal government has congratulated Team Nigeria for its outstanding performance at the just concluded All-African Games held in Ghana. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, speaking through the Minister of Sports Development, John Owaneno, welcomed the athletes and officials back to the country, having spent 2 weeks in Ghana for an explosive 13th edition of the All-African Games. The president noted that the nation is thankful for the hard work and sacrifice of individual and collective athletes, adding that their dazzling performances earned the nation a second-place finish, having won 47 gold medals, 3 silver among others. He reminded the athletes of the need to start preparation ahead of the 14th edition of the Games billed for Egypt, assuring that the government will be with them all the way. He also assured that efforts will be made to continue to consolidate on sports that Team Nigeria excelled in, while also interrogating the ones they performed poorly, such as swimming, in order to bridge the gap between the team and their main rivals. And that wraps up the news hour on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all of our social platforms and also join our live stream on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I'm Sakir Ibrahim. Have a good night.